Hey guys, I just want to give out a quick spoiler warning. There's a lot of very subtle and very atmospheric story elements, which I really think you would enjoy experiencing for your first time. Thank you. Little Nightmares. It surprised me. The stunning atmospheric journey of a little girl as she tries to escape the prison known as the Mall. My friend suggested that I take a look, and it shocked me how immersive of an experience that it truly was. If you enjoyed horror games like Limbo and Inside, I think you'll be able to find something in this story. We awaken to our main character, Six, having a nightmare about a woman in a kimono, then awakening in a dark and damp room. We know just as much as our protagonist. Where are we? How did I get here? Where do I go now? So we trudge onwards, with only a lighter and our rain slicker, avoiding leeches, crawling through air ducts, leaping over pits, lighting lanterns to mark our way, and solving puzzles. Eventually, we see a looming figure dragging a cage while we climb up a makeshift rope made of sheets. As we progress, we find a room full of toys. Do children play here? What is this eye marking on the wall? Why would a children's playroom have electric bars blocking the door? As we travel through the corridor, we learn what the eye marking meant. There's a moving eye in the wall that turns you to stone on sight, like it has done to other children. Upon avoiding the eye's gaze, we come across a room full of sleeping children. As we start to explore, the door swings open to reveal the figure from before. So Six ducks under one of the beds to hide from the figure and flees the room. One thing that we learn early on is that Six has very crippling hunger cravings. She begins to feel faint from a lack of energy, and another child feels compassion for her and tosses her their bread. After all, you're free and they're not. Why should you suffer if you can still escape? Six will then continue to traverse the hallways, solving puzzles and learning about the figure. Eventually, her hunger gets the best of her, and she goes for some meat in a cage. Six uses her wit and rocks herself free from the flimsy cage, and uses the cage of another child to reach the pull handle to open the door. As she trudges forward, Six comes across the figure again, and we see it in its well-lit glory. The bandages around its eyes, its short stature, its elongated arms. What is this creature? Was it born a monster? Was it created by another being to be so terrifying? Why is it wrapping up children and sending them away on hooks? So Six sneaks around the figure and manages to flee down a shaft full of shoes. The figure knows that one of its children has escaped. Six spends the remainder of the chapter running, hiding from and outsmarting the creature. Its long arms grab you off of shelves, hiding places, and even in crawl spaces. Leading up to a fight where you end all of your troubles with the monster. Six comes along the hooks and bundles that the figure was hanging things from and rides it through a window. As we arrive, we see another creature in the distance. This new monster has a chef appearance. Even worse, there are two of them. Is someone eating the children? As the chefs take notice of our presence, we continue to outsmart them and escape the same way we came in. Six climbs up a ladder and reaches a well-lit window. We hear lots of rushing water, the gulls calling in the distance. We emerge through a porthole and see the deep blue ocean and a massive boat. The boat appears to be letting large passengers onto the vessel. Why are there so many? As we watch the abyss monsters waddle by, we see a woman in a kimono watching as well. Fortunately, she cannot see us. Six quickly learns why these passengers are here: to eat. They seemingly never stop feasting and will not hesitate to grab Six, herself, for a snack. The chapter concludes with a rush of these guests pouring down a hallway after her, even diving desperately into the depths to grab Six as she swings to safety. Our final chapter involves Six exploring the home of, and confronting, the Kimono Woman. Along the way, a small gnome-like creature offers a sausage to Six, only to be attacked and bitten into by Six. Her hunger has gotten the best of her yet again. While exploring the Kimono Woman's home, we notice an odd amount of broken mirrors, eventually leading us to a sole unbroken mirror, which is then used to banish the evil woman for her misdeeds. Six then bites into the woman, and a dark force emerges and fills her with power. We are then left with a shot of Six traveling through a room while absorbing life from the feasting guests, leading Six to a set of stairs to the outside. We last see Six on the surface of the mall, gazing into the ocean. Okay, I'm sorry. That was much more in-depth than my retro game reviews are, but I hope I made the story of Six clear. Moving on to presentation, this game is absolutely perfect. The game communicates everything necessary without exposition. In fact, there's tons of foreshadowing alluding you to the end of the game. Like, what even is the sky? Go away, please! Oh, and the game tells you immediately and indirectly that you're in an ocean vessel. The way it rocks back and forth and has water leaking all over the place. And of course, that Six is not a hero. She doesn't care about the well-being of other children and will gladly take advantage of them and others to escape. So the game makes it clear that children are potentially being eaten. Guests are coming onto the vessel just to eat, and that you might also have some connection with the Kimono Woman. But the game also makes it ambiguous of how you got there. What are these gnome things? What are these dolls I keep breaking for? Are these monsters human, or created by the Kimono Woman? And those questions aren't important to tell the story. Everything not told directly is meant to be left up to interpretation. Our minds fill in the blanks. And anything we can't, we're left with a sense of wonder and unease for what's going on, putting us in the perspective of a child like Six. I can say for sure that the monsters we encounter are definitely human-like, to the point of where it's uncanny, and their movements are unsettling. And if you're looking at this from the perspective of a child, it all just comes across as a bad dream, until the horror concludes as Six takes control, and she, herself, becomes the little nightmare. The powerful lighting of this game sets the tone of the entirety of the story. The creatures that we see don't reach their full form until we encounter them directly in the light. In fact, we are often our most safe in the dark corners with the gnomes. Audio-wise, it's used for solving puzzles by distracting monsters, but also for foreshadowing. Why are children singing when I'm hungry? Additionally, the stellar sound design immerses you as you sneak around and try to make as little noise as possible when the monsters are sniffing. And in terms of control, it's very simple. You're just a little girl with a lighter. You can run, jump, and climb. Sometimes you light lanterns and candles, but the lighter is mostly for exploring in the dark. Everything needed to be done is communicated very well through the level design. So if you enjoy unconventional, story-driven horror games about children being hunted down, then I've got a game for you. Little Nightmares is a remarkable experience I enjoyed every moment of. I haven't touched the expansions yet, but if they're as good as the base game, I'd love to try them. This has been Saffron. Thanks for listening.